Hello everybody, this is Scarecrow, and we're back with Famicom Detective Club, Part 2, The Girl in Back. We're pretty close to the end at this point. I think we just need to figure out a few more pieces to get the general idea of what all happened here. I think what we're still missing at this point is the circumstances of Shinobu's death, why the principal decided to help cover that up, and maybe actually nailing down that Hibino is the person who did the murders, because I'm pretty sure that's where we're at. I think that is what's going to happen here. Alright, let's ask Komada about Urabe. I really don't think Principal Urabe could be a killer. It's absurd to even think of such a thing. How about the car? The principal was the owner of a large black car 15 years ago, correct? Yes, he did own one a long time ago. But seeing as how the principal was all away on business at the time of the Goro murder, how could he be the killer? Principal Urabe is not a murderer. I will hold no more of these pointless conversations. Good day. Oh, okay, well, he doesn't want to talk about it, huh? There's certainly a lot of black cars out there. And furthermore, the principal is supposedly away on business. If Principal Urabe was truly away on business at the time of the Goro murder, then Komada's right. He couldn't have been the murderer. Taking away the possibility of Urabe, my next best lead is now Mr. Hibino. Yes, he's the one that I've had as my lead for most of this, as it turns out. Although I did suspect Urabe pretty heavily. I generally thought that it was Hibino because we never really got to talk to him. Check the vicinity. Oh. The Shinobu painting again. Or drawing. I guess it's not a painting. It almost looks as though she's trying to say something. Okay, well, I guess we can't really do anything else here. If Hayama can verify that she contacted the principal while he was away on his business trip, then that would confirm his alibi. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, let's try the staff room. Is Hayama here? This is the staff room. Okay, nope. Doesn't look like it. And I'm guessing Hibino is also not here. Alright. Okay, we don't need to be here then. I guess let's go to the high school? Maybe I go to the old building? Oh, hey, Ayumi. Hey, Scare. Ayumi. I've discovered so much since I last saw you. Sorry, I can't talk right now. I've got to take a makeup test for Mr. Hibino. Oh, no. No. Ayumi, do not go in there. I am pretty sure Hibino is the murderer, and I don't want you to be alone with him. I missed a ton of stuff that day I chased Mr. Tazuki to Marufuku. Oh, right. Yeah, I guess you do have to go there and do your makeup work. Kind of an awkward situation, though. I'll try and meet up with you at the office later on today, unless I get caught in the storm. I hate this weather. Yoko always used to say, I wish I didn't have to be in school on a day like this. Ooh, the music. Clouds look just like they did that day and it happened. Scare. It feels like she's standing behind me all the time anymore. Shinobu's somewhere inside that school. There's just no other explanation. See you soon, Scare. Please be very careful, Ayumi. I do not like that you are going to be alone with Mr. Hibino. That seems really bad. Tazuki, is he around? Check the vicinity. No one's around. If I think again, I have reason to believe Shinobu is still somewhere within Ushimitsu High School. There's no doubt in my mind. What could Yoko have meant when she said that? That her spirit was still roaming the school in the guise of the girl in back? Wait a second. If the bloodstained girl Miss Hayama saw was Shinobu, alive but wounded, then that black car must have made a stop here on the night of the Kaneda murder. Is it possible Yoko meant the killer hid Shinobu's body somewhere inside the school? Before anything else, I need to verify Urabe's alibi. It seems Miss Hayama holds the key to all the answers at this point. Okay, can I talk to her? That person isn't here right now. Alright. Worth a shot. I'm starting to get worried. Gotta find Miss Hayama soon. Standing all the way out here isn't going to help. Makes me wonder, though. Why would Miss Hayama have come by here while running home? It's an awfully big detour. Yeah, this is an out-of-the-way building. Okay, let's go try... Scare? Oh, nice. Okay, we found her. She found us, I guess. Miss Hayama! What are you doing out here? Hello, I would like to talk to you about Urabe. Miss Hayama! Did you manage to get a hold of Principal Urabe yesterday? I called the hotel he said he was going to be staying at, but they didn't have any record of him ever checking in. Oh, really? So there goes his alibi. After I got off the phone with the hotel, I called his house and spoke with him there about the injured student. Why? What's wrong? The principal's alibi is falling apart. Any insights? What are you doing out here? I could ask you the same question. Someone double parked and blocked the gate, so I had to come through here on my way in. Oh my! Oh? That's right! I remember now. That's the reason I had to come through here 15 years ago, too. So someone was blocking the entrance. There's a car out there, blocking the gate, so I ran through here instead. Really? Okay, tell me about the car. It was a big black car, I think. Yes, I remember it looked familiar. It wasn't there when I arrived at school, either. Whoever it was got there after I did. Miss Hayama, I have reason to believe Shinobu's body was hidden in this school that night. You say you saw a large black car here at the school when you ran through here. Shinobu may very well have been in that car. Shinobu was here? That night? If that's true, then there's only one place she could be. Scare, are you thinking what I'm thinking? You mean the wall? I don't think she's in the wall. Maybe she is. I don't know. It's possible. The criminal must have stuffed her body in that wall and sealed it over with plaster. If that's the case, then I think it's time for another chat with Mr. Tazaki. I think this is where I better get the final word from that shifty janitor. Yeah, good luck. That guy, it's been pulling teeth with this guy to get any information. It's why he was too obvious to be the killer, because he was just so bad at talking. What's wrong now? You're gonna tell me about that wall, Mr. Tazaki. On the night of the Kaneda murder, was it really you who plastered the wall? Yeah, of course it was me. You still don't trust me, do you? I want to trust him, but yeah, of course I don't trust you. You have lied to me every step of the investigation. You have found different ways to omit truths this entire time. I'm getting sick of it, Tazaki. Tell me about the car. Did you see a large black car anywhere at the school that night? There was somebody at the school? You didn't see anybody? Why do you keep asking so much about that stupid wall? You still don't trust me, do you? Of course I don't trust you. You have given me no reason ever to trust you. The fact is, I have reason to believe that there's conclusive evidence for the Kaneda case in that wall. In other words, the murder weapon may have been sealed inside it, along with Shinobu Asakawa herself. What? Mr. Tazaki, have you told me the entire truth up until now? Well, no. I mean, not really, I guess. See, this is what I'm talking about, Tazaki. Every time, there's some other little detail you don't tell me. Well, tell me, what's going on? It was me who plastered that wall, but after I laid the plaster, I decided to take a walk and clear my head while it dried. I accidentally left my bucket of plaster there, so it's possible somebody could have stuck her in there and resealed it while I was away. That seems unlikely, though. In the amount of time that you were on a walk, someone broke in. Okay, not broke in. Someone went to where you were plastering the wall, messed with it, threw her body in, threw a weapon in. How long were you on a walk, Tozaki? That's what really happened. Is that it? There's nothing else? You really think Shinobu's in the wall? I know I sound suspicious, but I swear I'm telling you the honest truth. That's what you say every time, and you're never actually telling me the truth. Hey, there's something else. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is another thing. The next morning, when I went to get my power drill, I noticed something. See, you gotta tell me everything, man. It looked like someone had been using my tools. I was sure of it. Really? Okay, well that's something. That's what really happened. I never thought anything of it till now. These aren't really the kind of details that ever seem important. No, I can't agree that someone looking like they use your tools doesn't feel important. But it does in the grand scheme of this case. Okay, I guess I need to think. Gotta see what's in that wall. Utsuki needs to know about this, too. Please, find the killer soon. Please! But, well, it can't be the principal. It just can't be. You won't do anything to him, will you? Tozaki, you gotta know that the principal's deep in this somehow. So, you believe Shinobu's body is sealed into a wall at the old school building. Well, Scare, I can see you've worked quite a lot out. I assume you probably have a suspect in mind by now. I do. Scare, I've come to some conclusions as well. I know who the owner of the pen is. Oh, yeah? The question is, do you? Oh. The owner of the pen. It's this person, right? Oh, okay. Well, it can only be two people. It's either Uchida, Hibino, or Urabe. And I think it's probably Urabe? Correct! We need to be very careful of the principal from here on out. He's very intelligent. He could do anything at this point. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out specifically what he is doing. Because I don't think he is the murderer, but he is definitely covering up. Could the killer really be Principal Urabe? Boss, that wall. I know, Scare. We'll get to it in due time. Right now, we need to focus on apprehending Urabe. We're going to be monitoring the situation from the police station. The misspelled situation, I just noticed that. Good work, Scare. We couldn't have done it without you. Okay. Can't believe it. Despite all his recognition, could the principal be nothing more than a common criminal? When he was talking about his grief for Yoko and his trust in Tozaki, I didn't get the slightest suspicion that he was lying. However, if he's the killer, why did he corroborate Tozaki's alibi? Wait, of course! It provided an alibi for himself as well! Yes, part of his covering for these other people is covering himself. For all I know, he could have been planning to reveal the lie if he ever became a suspect, to throw suspicion on Tozaki. The real criminal. Principal Urabe? No, Scarecrow, stop. It's Hibino. You are so incorrect. Hang on a second. If all this is true, then Urabe must have murdered Genjiro, Goro, and Yoko, as well as Shinobu. Yeah, see, we're getting too many names in the list here. I'm pretty sure that it's Hibino, and Urabe was helping cover for him for some reason. I guess because of the not having a family thing and thinking of the students as his kids. The three current murders make sense, but why would he have murdered Kaneda 15 years ago? Doesn't add up. Is that... I mean... Okay, let's take the phone. Utsuki Detective Agency. Detective, I'm going to share with you something not many people know. Principal Urabe is far from what you think. A long time ago, this so-called Good Samaritan had a hand in Mr. Kaneda's shady affairs. What? Who is this? Someone who hates that lowlife from the bottom of his heart. Let me tell you, he's at the school right now. He's what? Hello? They hung up. Oh no. I left Ayumi at the school all by herself. Yes, Scarecrow, why did you do that? You did not want to leave her with Hibino. She's in danger. Yeah, please go back and save Ayumi. Oh, there we go, she's fine. Ayumi, you're safe. What's going on? Scare lets out a sigh of relief as he finds Ayumi and Hibino safe in front of the high school. Well, I mean, I'm not too relieved about Hibino, to be honest. Ayumi, did you see the principal anywhere? No, I didn't see anybody in there but Mr. Hibino. I was in a classroom the whole time, though, taking his test, so I really couldn't be sure if anybody else was in there or not. Mr. Hibino was supervising me take the test the whole time. I don't think he'd know either. The principal isn't back from his business trip. Really? I just got an anonymous tip at the office just a minute ago. They said the principal is here right now. We've got to get to the principal's office. Alright, let's get in there. It's locked from the inside. Locked from the inside? Okay. Scare rams the door as hard as he can. Uh-oh. Oh, he's dead. Okay, well that's a twist we weren't expecting quite. What? Why is the principal dead? There they find Principal Urabe face down on the desk, lying in a pool of blood. Principal! Principal Urabe? Check the vicinity. Everything was locked. Even the windows. Urabe. What in the world? He's already gone. He appears to have been stabbed. There's an envelope over there by the body. Think for a second. There's an envelope on the desk lying next to the body. Okay, let's take the envelope. Scare takes the envelope. Open the envelope. Inside the envelope, Scare finds a note written on school letterhead. Hmm? To whom it may concern, I dare not call myself an educator any longer, after having allowed myself to commit so many atrocious crimes. You see, I was once nothing more than a henchman in the late Mr. Kaneda's schemes. But before long, he started to get in my way. So on the night of November 10th, 15 years ago, I murdered him in cold blood. It would have been the perfect crime had it not been for the single eyewitness, Shinobu Asakawa. To my astonishment, she had seen everything. So as she tried to escape, I pursued her in my vehicle. It was then that I ran her down and fled the scene with her body in my trunk as fast as I could. All these years I had kept the secret hidden, hoping no one would ever find out. But then suddenly, two people appeared who knew of my dark past. One was a detective by the name of Yoko Kojima. I watched helplessly as she uncovered the facts one by one, inexorably approaching the truth. The other was Goro Kaneda. It was then that I realized he must have seen me flee after I had murdered his father. The sudden shock was simply too much for me. Fearing my secret would be exposed, I took the matter into my own hands, once again, and silenced Yoko and Goro before either could reveal what they knew. The fool that I am, I only realized afterwards that these acts would ultimately seal my fate. I only regret I hadn't realized earlier there was no need to hide the truth for so long. And so, I die in shame. Please believe me, for I am but a shell of a man. Forgive me. I was left no other choice. Tadashi Urabe. This is all way too convenient. He commits suicide and admits to all the crimes. That doesn't check out. I don't believe it. No! So, this is it. Principal Urabe, of all people, was a cold-blooded murderer. And so Scare now realizes the phone call must have come from Urabe himself, a last-minute cry for help. Principal! Come on, let's head back to the office. We need to contact the authorities. This can't be. Principal Urabe is no murderer. I can prove it. You see... Oh! Where'd you get the knife, Hibino? I'm the killer! If only you hadn't come along. Scare! I would have gotten away with everything, and he'd still be alive! Ever since that day, 15 years ago, after my missing father phoned me to say he'd taken poison, I made up my mind that I had nothing left to live for except to see Genjiro Kaneda die by my own hands. I left my own last words on the principal's answering machine, then took a knife to Kaneda. That's when Shinobu came in and saw everything. Genjiro lying on the floor, the bloody knife, and me. Murderer. Standing there in shock, I quickly realized what I had to do. She knew it as well as I did, and ran. It wasn't long after she escaped that I heard the sound of screeching brakes from down the road. When I caught up with her, I saw a black car there, stopped just in front of her. Shinobu was lying on the street, motionless. Oh. It was Principal Urabe. He'd got my message and came hurrying to stop me. But he was far, far too late. So, that's how it happened, okay. So Shinobu incidentally dies while trying to flee from the scene. Urabe ran into her and then decided to cover it up? Oh boy. Yep. So after quickly stuffing her in the trunk, we drove to the high school. I dragged her into a remote classroom in the abandoned school building, leaving her there for dead. I watched her lay there, regretting ever getting either of them involved. But then, a second later, I looked back at her and... she wasn't there. She was standing at the window, crying for help. She'd only been unconscious. Looking out the window, I realized there was a girl down there. I thought for sure she'd seen us. I couldn't take it. My mind went blank. Next thing I knew, I was holding a broken vase, and Shinobu was lying at my feet. Looking down at her, I knew she wasn't going to get up this time. After that, I ran home as fast as I could. The next day I went to see the principal, who said this to me. Forget everything. The principal helped me, and Goro knew it all along. That weasel! I only wish I'd killed him sooner! Seeing an opportunity, Scare grabs Ayumi's hand, and together they rush out of the room. No, not that way! It's a dead end! Oh no, not the... Oh god, it's the mirror hallway again! Oh. You can hear him walking. Suddenly, Scare realizes they've taken a wrong turn. As they come face to face with the huge mirror. There's nowhere left to run. They're trapped. Oh no! Scare! Whoa, I love this shot. This is amazing. Ayumi and Scare turn as pale as ghosts, as they hear Hibino's footsteps slowly draw closer and closer. Yoko once confronted me, right where you stand now, asking me this. Sir, back in the old days, you killed someone, didn't you? As I stood there staring at her, I saw her face turn from doubt to anger to fear, taking on an expression that was the exact same as Shinobu's 15 years earlier. As the forgotten feelings of guilt and animosity suddenly overwhelmed me, I suddenly cried out, "Yes, that's right! I killed you. I killed you 15 years ago, and I'll kill you now!" Oh, whoa, he got closer. After that, I like how the lightning flashed and he was closer. In a blind rage, I wrung her little neck right then and there, until long after she stopped breathing. Oh my god! I hadn't meant to kill her. In a fit of confusion, I just dropped her body there, and ran home. Just like last time, you just run straight home, huh? That's what you do, you murder someone, you just run away? However, they found her body in a runoff, miles from here. Why? She died here! Why did they find her there? No matter. Oh, he's closer again. I'll make sure no one finds you nearly as easily. I've managed to keep this secret safe until now. And I don't intend to stop here. Whoa! Scare! As Hibino lunges, Scare pulls Ayumi out of the way just in the nick of time. Hibino's knife strikes the mirror, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. Oh, I love that shot too. Turning away from the mirror, Hibino once again confronts the two. But then, suddenly... Oh? Whoa, what? The ghost? Oh no, her actual body. I was right! Ah! From behind the mirror, a skeleton dressed in a schoolgirl uniform falls onto Hibino. Shinobu! Utsuki and Maruyama suddenly come rushing onto the scene. They can do nothing but stand there, staring in disbelief. Scare! That day, in the mirror. This is what Yoko meant all along. Saying this, Ayumi faints. Ayumi! Scare carries Ayumi away, far from the crime scene. I was right. When the idea of hiding Shinobu in the school came up, I said there were two places she could be. The plastered wall, or behind the mirror, because at one point, he said that it looked like the hallway should have gone out, but it was walled off. So that's what happened. Someone must have plastered her into that... Oh, it had to be Urabe, right? He took care of the situation. Tazuki said his tools were used, so Urabe must have sealed Shinobu into that wall with the mirror. Huh, interesting. Well, Scare, that really was something, wasn't it? I owe you my deepest gratitude for doing all you did. We never could have done this without you. And so, the two talk at length about everything that happened. So, Hibino was the source of his own undoing. Yep, and Shinobu's body wasn't in the old building after all. Urabe must have put her behind the mirror after she was murdered. Yeah. That's probably why Mr. Tazuki said his tools looked as though they'd been used. I bet it was the principal who dumped Yoko's body into the river as well. He sure got in over his head when he agreed to help Hibino lie. I recently learned Urabe never even dealt with Kaneda until the murder happened. Okay. But he did have a secret of his own to hide. He killed Shinobu, even if it was an accident. Yeah, this is why I'm not buying this the principal is a good man talk. Because despite, you know, really going out his way to really care for his students, he did cover up the murder of one of his students. Well, the accidental death of one of his students that he caused, as it turns out. Huh? I thought Hibino killed her by smashing her head with a vase. Yes, that's what he claimed in his confession. But forensics has told me that while such a blow would have caused massive damage to her skull, no signs of any such fracture were found, not even delivered post-mortem. In other words, they're telling me Shinobu died in the car accident. Well, that doesn't make sense though, because then what did Hayama see in the window? Hayama saw something, and Hibino corroborated what she saw. Like, they agreed on what was seen. So, then what did happen? That doesn't make sense. Why would Mr. Hibino have claimed she was yelling at the window if she died in the accident? Don't tell me. You're still hung up on that ghost story angle, aren't you? No, it's corroborated by other people, Utsugi, that's the thing. Hayama saw someone in the window. Utsugi says, or not Utsugi, Hibino said that she ran to the window. That checks out. I'm unclear about why we're trying to think that this is about the ghost angle still. Like, could it have been that maybe the principal was carrying her body and Hayama saw it in the window or something? That could be. Sure, but this isn't the ghost story angle. But seriously, there's something I want to talk to you about. Due to recent events, I've decided to take on another staff member. Ayumi! From this day forward, she will be a full-fledged employee of the Utsuki Detective Agency. Same as you. Isn't it neat, Scare? I can't believe it. After all we've been through, I'm going to be your partner now. I'm still trying to get over what happened with Yoko and Shinobu. Yeah, that's a lot of trauma to work through. Hope we can manage it. By the way, what's the word on Mr. Hibino? Well, I hope he's in jail. I hope he's in jail for a long time. Maybe even dead. Well, I hope now he's finally free of the demons that had haunted him for so long. I just hope he can forgive himself for what he's done. I just hope he's in jail. Sure, if he forgives himself, that's great. But that man murdered 4 people. Well, 3 people, I guess. He didn't murder Shinobu. I guess he didn't murder Urabe? What happened with Urabe at the end there? Hibino didn't know about it happening, so I guess Urabe was trying to take all the blame on himself? To end the case with his own suicide? To, like, try and end everything there? I suppose that's what was happening there with Urabe? Because it doesn't feel like Hibino set up the situation. He seemed surprised when he saw the body. Plus the door was locked from the inside, so Urabe had to have made the call, implicated himself, and then committed suicide with a suicide note to draw the attention away from Hibino. I mean, that is a real big sacrificial move. He does really care. He just didn't care in quite the proper ways. And the pen? Oh, that. Apparently it was a gift from the principal to Hibino, back when he entered college. It seems to have been very important to Hibino. He apparently carried it with him everywhere. But he was calling himself Hibino by that time, not Uchida. Shouldn't the pen's engraving have read TH? That's a good question, Scare. Having said that, Ayumi, what do you say we go grab something to eat? Sure, let's go. Huh? Hey, what about me? Okay, yeah, we're just gonna leave me in the office? When am I gonna eat? So much has happened in the past few days. I just can't believe it. Principal Urabe turned out to be a decent man after all. Let's back off of calling him decent. Because he did cover up multiple murders of his other students that he supposedly cared about like his own children. Like, I understand that Hibino was very troubled, and that this murder is not entirely, like the original murder, the Kaneda murder, not entirely unjustified. But everything after that, not necessarily good, and didn't need to be covered up. Yoko didn't need to die, Shinobu didn't need to die, we didn't need to cover him up. Urabe, not decent. I mean, not good. I guess he's decent. He's not a good person. His only fault was feeling pity for others and helping to cover up their mistakes. No. His fault was covering up multiple murders. Don't say cover up their mistakes. That's not a mistake. A murder is not a whoopsie. A murder is a big thing. And he He prevented the police from doing a proper investigation by covering up this stuff. Going through life as a childless widower, it seems as though time and time again he would selflessly act in his friend's best interests. Yes, that's why he was so protective of Hibino, even preventing me from talking to him multiple times. But what about his other students that he did not care about as nearly at the same level? Doing the best he could, he helped Hibino through life, treating him as though he were his own. About that pen, I realized the TU engraving must have stood for Mr. Hibino's original name, Tatsuya Uchida. However, I can't help but think when the principal had it made, he really meant for it to be Tatsuya Urabe. Yeah, he wanted him to be his son. His son. So there we go, we made it to the end, right? Ooh, yeah, there we go. That's definitely ending music. Okay, well, what a game that was. What a story. Very interesting thing we dealt with here. Very interesting case we solved. So I guess we'll talk about it a little bit. I think there could possibly be something after the credits, so we'll talk for a bit and see if there's anything after the credits, and if there's not, we might just jump to the end. So anyway, The Girl in Back. When we were looking at these kind of mystery adventure games, I think the most important thing to think about is the story that was told. And I think the story was very interesting. A series of murders, a murder connected to a previous murder, all kind of unfolding together as deeper tragedies continue to unfold. I didn't think it was very hard to figure out what was happening in the story. I don't think it was necessarily that mysterious. Although, up until a certain point, I was leaning more towards Urabe as the murderer. But not being able to speak with Hibino at any point really made me suspicious of him. Oh, when he first saw the body on the riverbank, the reason he was freaking out is because he didn't think it should be there. It wasn't about seeing his dead student, it was about, why is her body here? That's why he freaked out so hard. Alright, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I don't necessarily like the way the game is framing Urabe as a good person, or a decent man. Like, yes, he had good qualities, and that he really did care specifically about Hibino. But as for the rest of his behavior, it is definitely not the behavior of a decent man. If you hit someone with your car, you report that. You don't hide the body. It feels very straightforward, and I'm very confused as to why everyone in this game is like, no, he's actually a really good guy. No, not really. Like, there were some aspects that were nice. I think that the Tazaki lead early was kind of an easy red herring to see through. Like, he was too suspicious, right? And by that respect, him being too suspicious made it easier to look at Urabe and Hibino as the actual suspects, which did end up being correct, even though Urabe was not actually a murderer, except for Shinobu, possibly, because I don't necessarily know that forensics has it correct. Because they were, well, I mean, they should have, like, you can look at the skull. It was there. You would have seen if someone got their head bashed in with a vase. So, I mean, it would make sense that they would be correct, but how does that square up with what Hayama said she saw? That part just doesn't add up. So yeah, I think it was a very interesting game. The story played out in a good way, good tension. There were different parts where you're not quite sure what's going to happen, like when Komada confronted you in the art room. I thought that was rather interesting. Didn't know if that was actually going to be like a confrontation. Oh, We got something. Oh, okay. It's just a special thanks. I'll continue talking. So this style of game is definitely antiquated. I don't think a lot of people like these kinds of games anymore, and so people aren't making these sorts of games. There are still, like, point-and-click adventure games, but not like this first-person investigation game like this game, or Deja Vu, or Uninvited, or, let's see, Shadowgate is another example, even though Shadowgate's more of an RPG. But there were actually quite a few of these kinds of games made. Even on the Nintendo alone, I think there were 3 or 4. There are the Famicom Detective games, or Famicom Detective Club games. There's the Portopia Serial Murders. There's another the Hokkaido Serial Murders. I know there are at least a couple other ones, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. Copyright Nintendo Power. But yeah, this antiquated style I don't think necessarily plays as well, but they did remake the game recently, and I guess it might have done okay. But yeah, this style I think not necessarily everyone's favorite, and it also doesn't leave a lot of room for player agency because you are kind of led along a path. There were choices I made, but I don't think the choices really mattered too much. Oh. 2 years later, on one particular day, so we did have something after the credits. Utsuki Detective Agency. Scare speaking. I like the animation of Ayumi walking there, it's nice. Hello, Detective. My name is Zenzo Tanabe. I'm calling from Yojin Village. There's a matter I wish to speak with you about, in person. Yojin Village. That's not too far. Alright, I'll be there in about an hour. Ayumi, I'm going out. Scare? Where are you going? To be continued in Famicom Detective Club, The Missing Heir. Oh, that's part 1. So this is a prequel? I've been playing a prequel this whole time? Part 1's The Missing Heir, I'm pretty sure. Interesting, okay. I guess we're doing it in order then. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to find a copy of The Missing Heir. I guess I could get the Switch version to do that. Thank you very much, Scarecrow. We hope you've enjoyed the game. And so, having been promoted to the rank of detective, it's now time for your personality assessment. What? There was a personality assessment? You're a good person. You help your companions out eagerly. Oh, there were a lot of choices that came up, and I thought that they were affecting the gameplay. But were they just for the sake of, like, a personality assessment? Additionally, approaching things calmly and rationally seems to be your way. However, how would you handle yourself if things got out of hand? I guess that's because I stopped and I would stop and think whenever I couldn't figure out the next thing to do. And let's see. You seem to be a terribly serious person. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't joking around. There's no joking when it comes to justice, okay? This is the end of the personality assessment. Yeah, you didn't hear me joke, game, but I was joking, sometimes, not very often, into the microphone. Well, how's that? If this personality assessment inaccurately described you in any way, we apologize for the inconvenience. Have a nice day! And finally, it's time to find out how compatible you are with Ayumi. Oh. What? Ayumi's love rating? Excuse me? Oh, okay. Well, I didn't do bad, I guess. We're, what, 14 hearts? Okay, sure. You know, I wasn't here looking for love, though. I've only got one love in my life. And that love is Lady Justice. Oh, I thought that was going to be the end. I wanted to cut there. Just end the video. Oh no, we still got more. Hey, Scare, how are you and Ayumi doing? I kind of dig you myself. I wonder if you noticed. Yeah, you tried to get me to leave school with you. If Ayumi ever treats you bad, you know where to come. What? I was just kidding. I'm sure Ayumi's very sweet. Why are you hitting on me? I don't care. I'm here to solve crimes. I'm not here to fall in love, okay? We're not here for that. That's a different game. Probably. I don't know. Okay, well that was Famicom Detective Club Part 2, The Girl in Back. Very interesting game. I really liked the graphical design in the game as well. Because there's less stuff that has to be moving all the time, we really got to have some pretty detailed looking pixel art, and it was great. I loved that. Like the shots in the hallway, with the mirror, that shot of Ayumi at the end, turning around and looking, the cliffside confrontation. There's a lot of really, like, moments that really stick out. The music was also top-notch. I loved it. Very good. Very spooky a lot of the time, added to the atmosphere. And, yeah, it was a very good game. I really enjoyed Famicom Detective Club. That was pretty great. I might try and look at more detective games in the future, although we'll probably take a break from detective games immediately. But we'll probably jump back in with another one at some point, because this was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. I like thinking about the case and, like, coming up with ideas and different theories for what happened. But yeah, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. My name's Scarecrow. How did you do? Did you figure out the case? Let me know in those comments down below. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.